Good morning, students. Topic is concept of economics goods, material and non-material goods. This is the topic. Here I will teach you. And concept of economies, first of all, these objectives here. Today's objectives identify the difference between wants and needs. And next is explain the difference between goods and services. Describe economic resources used in the production of goods and services. Understand how scarcity applies to economics. And these objectives is this topics and the first of all we talk about goods. In economics, goods are items that satisfy human wants and provide utility. For example, to a consumer making a purchase of a satisfying product. A common distinction is made between goods which are transferable and services which are not transferable. And next, the private goods are things owned by people, such as televisions, living room furniture, wallets, cellular telephones, almost everything owned or used on a daily basis that is not food related. Intangible goods stacked in a warehouse. A good is an economic good. If it is useful to people but scarce in relation to its demand, so that human effort is required to obtain it. In contrast, free goods such as air are naturally in abundant supply and need no consequence effort to obtain them. A consumer good or final good is any item that is ultimately consumed rather than used in the production of another goods. For example, a microwave oven or a bicycle that is sold to a consumer is a final good or consumer good, but the components that are sold to be used in those goods are intermediate goods. And next is consumer commercial goods. Commercial goods are construed as tangible products that are manufactured and then made available for supply to be used in an industry of commerce. Commercial goods could be tractors, commercial vehicles, mobile structures, airplanes, and even roofing material. Commercial and Personal goods as categories are very broad and cover almost everything a person sees from the time they wake up in their house, home, on their commute to work, to their arrival at the workplace. These are the commercial goods also. And these goods in is there, and question arise first of all, what are goods? Goods are products and resources that satisfy people's needs and wants. A good can be a physical object, a provide service, or some combination of the two. Virtually anything is a good if it offers some kind of benefit to consumers. Since goods are diverse, they are categorized into distinct groups with unique characteristics that determine their value. Most goods belong in one or more of these seven classification. Goods in seven classification. First of all, we see executable goods. An executable good is an item or service that's not freely available. This type of good has set limitations for who can benefit from it, such as items that are only accessible to paying commerce customers, and whether the transactions require a payment plan or a single purchase. A monetary price automatically makes something an excludable good because a consumer must pay before they can enjoy it. Excludable goods are not definitive, meaning they can change their classification depending on how exclusive it is. And some example is there. First, going to the movie, only consumers who pay for tickets can see movies at movie theaters. And next is eating at a restaurant. Only consumers who can pay for the food can eat it. And using a music streaming service, only consumer who pay the subscription fee can use the service. Then these are the excludable goods. Example is there. And next is non-executable goods. Understanding economics, and these goods are in this types of application. A non executable good is an item anyone can consume without directly paying for it. Examples include public infrastructure like roads, bridges, power grids, and water drainage system. Traffic sign, public parks, public services like education and safety, public art displays like murals and buildings. These are the non executable goods examples. Many non executable goods are built and maintained through public funds. And the next next is semi-executive executable goods. Semi-executive goods are technically executable goods that many consumers have access to without paying for them. For example, someone could use their friend's TV streaming subscription without paying for it. And item like music, movies, books, and magazines could be classified as semi executable goods. If people can get them without paying, many economic professionals call this free riding. And the next good is rivalrous good. Rivalrous good is an item that a consumer cannot benefit from because some someone else is presently benefiting from it. Some examples of rivalrous goods include first example is buying a car. So once someone purchases a car, no one else can own it at the same time. And next is eating a sandwich. Once someone eats a sandwich, no one else can eat it. And reading a book. If someone is reading a book, no one else can read it at the same time. These are the examples of rivalrous goods. And the what are the interferior goods? Interferior goods are non-rivalrous goods. Non-rivalrous goods is an item that multiple consumers can benefit from stimulously simultaneously with no negative attributions. Non rivalrous goods can be executable or non excludable. In these types of goods, for example, consumer can watch a TV show on cable, which is an executable good, no matter how many people consumed it beforehand or are simultaneously consuming it. A non-rivalrous, non-executable example is multiple people driving on the same road at the same time. And next is the material goods. Material goods are items that that are tangible, meaning you can touch, hold, and see them within a physical space. Consumer can move and transfer these goods from one location to another. Most goods are material. Basic examples of material goods include items like car, food, houses, furniture, clothes, appliances, different types of appliances. And next is the non material goods. What are the intermediate goods? With example is there. Non material goods. Non material goods are intangible, meaning you cannot touch, move, or see them within a physical space. Services like those provided by teachers, doctors, and actors are the most common type of non material good. Several factors determine how much value people place on a non material good, such as the quality and timeliness of the service. Most non rivalrous goods also count as non material goods. This is the non material goods. And the next is economic and non economic goods. Material goods are further divided into economic and non economic goods. Economic goods are those which have a price and their supply is less less in relation to their demand, or is scarce. The production of such goods requires scarce resources having alternative use. For example, land is scarce and is capable of producing rice or sugarcane. And the next is material and non-material goods. Goods may be material and non-material. Material goods are those which are tangible. They can be seen, touched, and transferred from one place to another. For example, cars, shoes, cloth, machines, buildings, wheat, etc. are all material goods. On the other hand, non material goods are intangible, for they do not possess any shape or weight and cannot be seen, touched, or transferred. In this way, the services of all types are non material goods, such as those of doctors, engineers, actors, lawyers, teachers, etc. The characteristics common to both material and non material goods are that they have value and satisfy human wants. And if the farmer want to produce rice, he will have to forego the production of sugarcane. And the next point is in the services, goods are utility and characteristics of goods. Goods may increase or decrease their utility directly or indirectly and may be described as having marginal utility. Some things are useful but not scarce enough to have monetary value, such as the Earth's atmosphere. These are referred to as free goods. In the free goods are in normal practice, normal parlance, goods is always a plural word, but economists have long termed a single item of goods a good. In this way, the goods diversity in allow for their classification into different categories based on distinct characteristics such as tangibility and ordinal relative elasticity. A tangible good like an apple differs from an intangible good like information due to the impossibility of a person to physically hold the latter, whereas the former occupies physical space. And intangible goods differ from services in that final tangible goods are transferable and can be traded, whereas a service cannot. And in economics, a bad is the opposite of a good. Ultimately, whether an object is a good or a bad depends on each individual consumer, and therefore, not all goods are goods to all people. In this picture, type of goods is there responsiveness to price change and responsiveness to income changes. Ordinary good and gifted good. Responsiveness to income changes. Normal goods elasticity greater than zero. Inferior good elasticity less than zero. Normal goods is luxury, superior good, elasticity greater than 1. And normal goods is necessary good, elasticity less than 1. This is the types of goods, and the goods diversity allows for their classification into different categories based on distinctive characteristics such as tangibility and ordinal relative elasticity. A tangible good like an apple differs from an intangible good like information due to the impossibility of a person to physically hold the latter, whereas the former occupy physical space. Intangible goods differ from services in that final intangible goods are transferable and can be traded, whereas a service cannot. And next, the price elasticity also differentiates type of goods. An elastic good is one for which there is a relatively large change in quantity due to a relatively small change in price, and therefore is likely to be part of a family of substitute goods. For example, as pen prices rise, consumers might buy more pencils instead. And inelastic goods is one for which there are few or no substitutes, such as tickets to major supporting events and original works by famous artists and prescription medicine such as insulin. Complementary goods are generally more inelastic than goods in a family of substitutes. And for example, if a rise in the price of beef results in a decrease in the quantity of beef demanded, it is likely that the quantity of hamburgers buns demanded will also drop despite no change in buns prices. This is because hamburger buns and beef in Western culture are complementary good. It is important to note that goods considered complements or substitutes are relative associations and should not be understood in a vacuum. And the next is trading of goods. Trading of goods are capable of being physically delivered to a consumer. Goods that are economic tangible can only be stored, delivered, and consumed by means of media. And this goods both tangible and intangibles may involve the transfer of product ownership to the consumer. Services do not normally involve transfer of ownership of the service itself, but may involve transfer of ownership of goods developed or marketed by a service provider in the course of the service. And these goods example is there. For example, sale of storage related goods which could consist of storage shades, storage containers, storage buildings as tangibles, or storage supplies such as boxes, bubble, warp, tape, bags, and the like, which are consumable or distributing electricity among consumers. is a service provided by an electric utility company. In these consumers, this service can only be expra- experienced through the consumption of electrical energy, and which is available in a variety of voltages, and in this case is economic good produced by the electric utility company, while the service, namely distribution of electrical energy, is a process that remains in its entirety, entirety in the ownership of the electric service provider. The goods, namely electric energy, is the object of ownership transfer, and the consumer becomes electric energy ownership by purchase and may use it for any lawful purpose, just like any other goods. These are the goods in the transfer ownership. And this picture, goods and services, give example. Goods, physical objects that satisfy needs and wants, consumer goods created for direct consumption, example pizza, and capital goods created for indirect consumption, oven, blenders, canvas, etc. Goods used to make consumer goods. Services, actions, at activities that one person performs for another. Teaching, cleaning, cooking. All are good and services is there. And next, this picture, material goods. Material goods is consumer goods and capital assets. Fundamentally and spatial ties, radiological material, surgical thread, food kinds, cleaning materials, hospital gases, laboratory reagents, orthosis, prosthesis, and spatial materials. And the capital assets, building, ambulances, comparis- compressors, sanitary tanks, autoclaves, laundry machines, furniture, and utilized cells, incubators, electrocardiograph. These are the material goods. And material goods also two types, consumer goods and capital assets. And the next is the type of goods in economics. There are four basic types of goods. First of all, first is private goods. A private good is something that provide a positive value and benefit to the consumer. These goods are also excludable, which means the consumer can prevent other non-paying consumers from benefiting from them. Examples of private goods include food, clothes, parking space, seats on a plane. And next is public goods. Public goods, also referred to as social or collective goods, are non-rivalrous and non-excludable. Anyone can benefit from this good without distracting its value and or preventing someone else from benefiting from it at the same time. Even if you did not pay from a public good, you can still assess it. Public goods include things like public hiking trials, air, a country's national defense, street, street lights, and next is club goods. Club goods, sometimes referred to as artificially scarce goods, are often excludable and non-rivalrous public goods. This means that the item is available for the public to benefit from, and it can keep its value no matter how many people consume it. However, it the item is excludable because it allows consumers to bar other people from gaining its benefits if they don't pay for it. These items are artificially scarce because there is a financial gain in making them exclusive rather than the possibility of them running out. Example of club goods include items like roads, private parks, and cinemas. These are the example of club goods. And next is common pool resources goods. A common pool resource good is an item that's created as part of a resource system. This item can be natural or man made. These goods are typically public, but they can become a private or executable goods. These goods differ from public goods because they have high consumption rates, which can impact their value. Some examples of common pool resources goods include fishing grounds, irrigation systems, coal mines, and timber fields. These are the examples of goods. These are the types of goods, and at the end of this topic, these are the references of this topic, and these references are your help in this topic for the any other terms of goods. And the next is MCQ's question is there at the end of the topic. First MCQ is which of the following could not be considered a major economic system? Capitalism, communism, socialism, and physical quality of life index. What is the answer? Answer is physical quality of life index. And next question is economic development refers to. First option is economic growth. Economic growth pulse changes in output, distribution, and economic structure. An improvement in the well being of the urban population. And the last option is sustainable increases in gross national product. The answer of this question is sustainable increases in gross national product. This is the answer of this question. Next question is OPEC is the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Country, Organization of Pre-European Commission, Oil Product Producing Economies, COSIS, Organization of Problematic Economies Committee. Answer is Organization of Pre-European Commission is the right answer. And PPP is stand for a theory that tells us that exchange rates between currencies are in equilibrium when their purchasing power is the same in both countries. And next option is GDP divided by exchange rate, a measure of income inequality. and a measure of infant mor- mortality in developing countries. The last option is a measure of infant mortality in developing country is the right answer of this question. And next question is the physical quality of life index combines three indicators. They are infant mortality, expectancy, and adult literacy rate, crime rate, clean environment and quality of housing, air pollution rate, water pollution rate, and sanitation. And last option is health, education, and environment. What is the answer? Answer is air pollution rate, water pollution rate, and sanitation is the right answer of this question. And next question, infant mortality is defined as the annual number of deaths of infant under 1 year old per thousand live births. Next is reflects the availability of primary education, the rights of employment, and social security. And next is life expectancy up to age 3. And last option is reflects the availability of hospitals and child care facilities and the parents' wealth. Answer of this question is the expectancy up to age 3. This is the answer. And next question, human development index summarize a great deal of spatial performance in a single composite index combining disparity reduction rate, human resource development rate, and the composite index. Longevity, education and living standard, minimum schooling, adult literacy, and territory educational attainment. And last option is human resource training, development, and R&D. Right answer of this question is disparity reduction rate, human resource development rate, and the composite index is the right answer. And next question, according to the text, basic needs include food, cloth, and housing, health, education, and quality housing, adequate nutrition, primary education, health, sanitation, water supply, and housing. And last option, longevity and living standards. What is the right answer? Right answer is the health, education, and quality housing is the right answer of this question. And the next question, ASEAN, ASEAN refers to the Association of Southeast Agro Nations, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Alliance of Southeast Asian Neighbors, and Alliance of Southeastern African Nations. Right answer of this question is Association of Southeast Asian Nations. And last question of this topic is, as economic development proceeds, income equality tends to follow an curve, convex, inverted, U-shaped, L-shaped, and S-shaped. What shaped is curve is the answer of this question is inverted U-shaped curve. This is the answer of this question. And the end of this topic, at all about of these topics is no, and the end of this topic. Thank you.